Hello, Teresa Phelps Martin, bringing you the energetic signature for August 5th until August 12th. And this is an energetic signature that is here to support you and help you become more aware so you can make mindful choices of the way you engage and participate in your life, remaining aligned to the truth of who you are while also stepping forward and supporting the truth of the world around you. That's kind of a big dose, right? The idea to really be authentic, to really be able to stand in your own light is not a path for the faint of heart. It's a path for those of us who crave delight and enjoyment and connection to the meaning and the experience and the value of having this chance to evolve and grow and embody. All right. So as we start this week, we have the energy of the full moon on August 11th. And this is a big full moon. It is in contrast to the goodness of the new moon we had almost 2 weeks ago. But in that, it's just kind of a point of a reality check. And that reality is recognizing that there is a lot of change, a lot of kind of the foundation of our lives shifting and the trajectory, our future, our visions, our hopes, our dreams, being asked to take a deeper consideration. And that deeper consideration is about understanding your whole self. The parts of you that are being changed, the parts of you that are being challenged, the parts of you that are under great renovation. If you have strong Gemini energy in your chart at all, then your soul is being rocked to its core. If you have strong Cancerian energy, then you're finding the people you surround yourself with, the communities, the connections, the networks are in your vision, what you thought was going to be is being transformed. If you have a lot of Leo energy, your work, your life, your profession, your vocation, kind of how you're going to be remembered is in a major change, right? If you have I might as well continue around, right? If you have a lot of Virgoian energy, it's kind of this trust in the future, this trust that everything's going to work out is really, really important for you to look at. If you have a lot of Libra energy, there's this call to explore how you're being intimate, how you're being vulnerable, what you're investing in. That is being rocked. If you have a lot of Scorpio energy, that your relationships, your partnerships with life, with other people, with businesses, within your family are being asked to be reevaluated and understanding what you're breaking ground on and what's breakthroughs you're giving yourself permission to receive. Even about the fears you hold towards yourself and not burying them, but just respecting them, respecting those fears. This goes for everybody. But so continuing on, because I might as well finish what I start. Sagittarian energy, your daily life is just been a little chaotic, right? And in that energy, that you're having to give a lot of form and shape. You have the drive to shape this, but your daily life and you need to streamline it in a way that prioritizes what your values. If you have a lot of Capricorn energy, this Capricorn energy is really breaking ground on you understanding and claiming the truth of who you are, your sense of self, and trusting in that sense of self. If you have a lot of Aquarian energy, you are in this place of your home life, your foundation, it's looking different. And because Aquarian energy kind of takes in all of it, you're feeling this new way of being in relationship to your private life and out in the public. And letting go of the fears of how you're being perceived, right? If you have a lot of Piscean energy, you're finding this kind of new understanding and relationship with your articulation, how you create your life and how you're creating that connection to the world really close to you, right? This mundane energy is all of a sudden making sense to you, maybe on a new level. And notice how I've gotten a little sweeter in the discussion. I will tell you, so Aries energy, your sense of self, your value, your worth, the money that's going out, right? You want to realize that there are resources within, and how can you really connect and trust in the flow of these inner resources. And then Taurus, it's a lot, right? You're being asked to just reconnect to that Taurian sense of supply and food and nourishment and attachment. You're having to really reevaluate all the things that you're attached to. So you want to know what energy you hold and what energy is kind of being rocked and what energy is being illuminated and what energy is being supported. So with that being said, this is just using the wisdom of the stars to help us understand all the volatility and all the change that as humanity collectively we're all experiencing. So I really encourage you to acknowledge, like, what are the big changes in your life right now? What is for me, my friend Glow, she would say you've got a lot of water under your feet right now. We might feel like the volcanic energy of the foundation that we've always known just kind of crumbling. So let the light in. Because in all of this, we all have this great support system, and trusting that's going to work out. Trusting that things will be favorable. Don't get caught up in the narrative of the doom and the gloom and the criticism, because part of that is an old way, that's an old pattern that is just not sustainable anymore. Humans have somehow survived so much, right? So much. And in that sort of complexity, you want to really cultivate this gratitude for all that is working out. Make it a daily practice. Right? Make it a daily connection to watching the narrative, and how can you organize that and calm yourself down so you can cultivate clarity, right? So I'm sharing all of this because you have what you need to handle just all the unsettling energy right now. Maybe you do need a friend, maybe you do need a coach, maybe you do need a therapist. Maybe you do need that sort of love and compassion towards yourself. But we all are in a place of looking at, you know what, that old pattern does not serve me anymore. It worked, it got me through. But what can I do to change it so that I can really give this energy into this belief that this future vision can help me weave all the parts of myself, my body, my physicality, my mind, this mental state, our ability to be aware, our hearts, the kind of energy and motivation we have for life, and our soul, like the deep, 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 deep energy of the truth of who we are, that's here to evolve, that's here to be transformed, that's here to cultivate growth. Okay? So that's just ultimately the flavor of the full moon. And if you have a lot of earth energy, know that there's a lot of support to you going into this next level. So look at the power around transformation. Yes, perhaps you've felt like you've been pulled underground, but you've dug into the soil. Now you can bring the treasure up, right? So give yourself time to look at where your awareness is. What vantage point are you coming from? Are you coming from the low vibe of being human, or can you come from that higher vibration of believing in the unfolding and the rebuilding and giving shape and form to this new energy, because you're going to have a lot of support. If you have a lot of air energy, you're going to get insights, you're going to have clarity, you're going to find that energy comes quickly to you and for you about giving structure to this new way of being, right? So give time to meditate, connect with your breath. This goes for every energetic signature, whether you have a lot of earth energy, air energy, water energy, or fire energy, that you want to give time to breathe and watch the breath. It's not about making it all balanced and perfect and uniform, but sometimes my meditation will be watching how the breath breathes me, right? That's a very high air energy. Get curious, discover, awaken. If you have a lot of fire energy, then the dreams are on fire, right? The belief, the amplification, the knowing, but there's also a slowing down of this zest, this kind of like, you've probably felt this full speed ahead and now it's going to slow down. It's going to slow down until December, but it's just asking you to really claim that trust that it's all going to work out. Have the faith, keep the faith. And if you have a lot of water energy, then you're in a land more right now of, look at those fears. Look at those parts of your vulnerability. And as you look at those parts of your vulnerability, what is it you can't let go of? We have to let go. I have a lot of water energy. We have to let go. And I'll be vulnerable with you in this moment, that I know that the volatility has allowed for breakthroughs of old patterns of how I've always felt responsible. That if everything wasn't peaceful and harmonious, then I was to blame, right? I know it sounds a little nuts, but if you've done yoga with me, then you know I put a lot of energy in making sure everybody in that room feels good when they leave. So that's a strength, right? But it's also no longer sustainable. So I just am learning how to be and how to have gratitude for these breakthroughs and have compassion and acceptance, right? Most of you know that even my health has been volatile and has pushed me into a new reality. And that reality check is hard, right? All reality checks are hard. But rather than get devoured by the chaos, I can give energy to the structure of my truth. And if I give energy to the structure of my truth, then that light will radiate easily out into the world and into my future. Okay? So those are just something that I wanted to make sure came through in the very beginning. What we have moving through this next week is we'll have the moon. The first quarter moon happens on the 5th. And this first quarter moon is really like excavating your truth, like dig in. What is, like, again, this water energy? What are those fears? And, you have passions, you have desires, you know that things can be transformed, but how can you recognize it's for the higher good? It's so that you can come to that peace and that energy. This is the Scorpio moon, is not so much to keep it hidden and buried, but to excavate it. And that's that first square, because I'll tell you right now, when we move into that full moon, it's going to be at the surface. It's the tension of this full moon isn't bad. It's just reminding us that the past 2 years, the flavor of the past 2 years, has impacted the entire planet, right? I mean, shoot, the science is saying now, right, that the Earth is spinning faster. So this isn't just impacting us here on the planet. It's affecting our solar system. It's affecting just the way we're going to schedule our lives. So much is changing. I mean, 1 second, right? But that little subtle shift, that little subtle adjustment creates radical transformation. That is a universal truth. So we're all being radically transformed to go high. So hold that view, that belief that it's all for the highest good. and that we can make choices with awareness that we're not going to stay stuck, right? So when this moon, this quarter moon is coming, like we have to own this love that the sun shines for us, that we get to be alive, we get to stand in our light, we get to be exactly who we are. And we have to let go of the pressure that we put on ourselves to be all the things, right? That's probably more personal for me, but to realize that we all have wounds. We all have things that are hidden from us. We all have protectors inside of us. We all have energy that feels like it's in exile. And all of this is to protect us and keep us safe. But now we need to be able to come into this new articulation of how are we embracing all of these parts to live a new truth that is really just a permission slip to be more of our truth. Okay, so then, value your whole self, all the parts of yourself. Make your whole self a priority. Make your future, the vision that you hold, the structure. What are you working for? What are you? The reality check of your life, the chaos that's happening for all of us. How are you participating with it? Are you letting yourself get devoured by it? Are you part of the, oh gosh, I just feel so bad for the future generation? Well, sitting around talking like that does nobody any good. How are you showing up for your future? And how are you making choices that is going to, 7 years from now, really support those future generations, that we can think about other people's children. We want to think about it, but not get into the narrative of the judgment and criticism, but hold the belief that we're being asked to be pushed into new relationships with humanity, with our life, in a way that is more accepting and inclusive. Okay. And then we have the moon will move into Sagittarius, and fire moons, it's big, right? The truth comes, right? So use this in a way as the truth is coming, right? As we feel this energy of like my truth, your truth, not that we're in combat with each other, but we're having the faith that there's room and space for the many truths. Because one of the spiritual truths is that in the many, we know the one, right? So in the many expressions that we can really feel the oneness. So in the duality that we find the non-duality. We're all human. We're all living on this earth, okay? Then while that moon is on the 6th and 7th in Sagittarius, we're going to feel that this sort of like nourishment, this need to care for ourselves. You might feel like the ease of wanting to escape reality, so be mindful, but that you can value the ways that you're able to connect to your dreams and that there's support to your dreams, and that we can breathe in this energy of ease, because this energy of ease is with us. It just perfects on August 7th, that we can really hold that trust and value the fact that we're supported by so much more, that there's so much more at work that's on our side, and that we're starting to trust in this unseen energy in a way that we can receive it. And as we receive it, that it's supporting us. And now and on Sunday, we have sort of this drive and this passion and this like the form of our beingness and what we're putting out in the world and the direction we're going and the movement of moving ahead, being asked to slow down. Patience, patience, patience. And in that slowing down, the reality check is not just about you. So connecting to that, reflecting on, yes, what is my future vision? Am I in the pattern of staying with how it used to be and who I used to be? And then, oh yeah, that isn't working any longer. So who am I now? What is my vision for my future now? And then just using that challenge. Remember, there's a lot of support of receiving, and then kind of the pause is slowing down, that you feel this amplification of stepping forward, but like, okay, check, check, check. You got to get the things done. Like what's coming to me right now is I have to write a paper. I only have like 3 more papers to write for grad school. Yay! Like it's going to be hard, and I just have to sit down and get it done, right? But then it'll move forward. All right, and then the moon will be void for a good bit on the 8th and 9th. It'll be in Capricorn. And when the moon is in Capricorn, the energy is to tend to not feel. There is no time to get into the feelings. We just have to get it done. We just have to get it done. I'll tell you right now that overdrive and disconnect is part of the energy that's no longer of service. And while that happens, we're going to feel the opposition, the push-pull of like, oh, I just want to like take care of myself and pull out. But no, the power is in restructuring right now. And in that push-pull and in that tie, there's also though this amplification of we really are changing our view. Sorry, my phone's about to die. Changing our view and our the way we give shape and form to understanding the feminine energy. I'm just going to leave it there. And there's, as the subtlety, like I will just say that in that push-pull, we really have to change the way we think, the way we approach, and give pause to breathe into the faith that it all will be okay. And to use your breath to know that you can assert yourself and your voice and your truth, but also listen to other truths and realize the many and the one, right? That we're all having, that we have this external support system available to us, that things will turn out favorable. And so we need to connect to that. And then knowing that too is that the moon will be with Pluto. You could say Pluto is responsible for all the discord, but so is Saturn and Uranus. And so realizing that this energy, the peak of, school getting back to started, new routines, new structure, are you trying to do it the same way you always have? Because it's not going to work. So we have to be open, and we have to be open to the reality check of how are we handling the change, and remain open to new ways of doing it. Because when that moon moves into Aquarius and it hits to be full at 19 degrees on the 11th, there's a lot of tension in this moon. The sun is in Leo, the moon is in Aquarius. So they're 180 degrees apart from each other. That is an axis of individual love, collective love. Me, myself, and I, you, us belong. It's the one and the many. It is the tapestry of all the fabrics coming together and weaving this reality. But then we also have this energy. So maybe rewind and listen to the beginning where I went through each sign and shared the areas of volatility that are there for you, of breakthroughs and maybe even breaking downs. I've heard of so many car accidents and cars breaking down. That's just the universe asking us to slow down. And that you kind of review that, okay? And then you're gonna also feel, the blessing in all of this is that we're gonna feel in this moon, the reality check of the tensions of our life, the changes that we're being pushed into. We have to let go. It's a beautiful moon for releasing. If you live in Louisville and you can come to Yoga 6 on Thursday at 5:30, I'm teaching a restore class, but it's release, renew, restore. The energy is all about helping to let go of that tension, those undercurrents, and be restored, right? And be restored. So, and if you can't, then just give yourself time to do some restorative poses where you ground your nervous system And in grounding your nervous system, your breath is important. And standing poses are really, really good, where you feel the density of your bones. And in feeling the density of your bones, feel how much support the earth is giving you, that you're not alone in doing this. Give yourself the room to cry, to laugh, and to acknowledge that you're ready for new. You're ready for new ways. By letting this go, we also want to restore, right? And that restorative energy is that our dreams, that there is an undercurrent of the unseen fueling us forward. So lean into that. And maybe that for you, it's just that trust in what can be. And on the same day of that moon, that Venus will move into Leo. So she moves into a fire sign. And that means that, okay, I've taken the time, I've cared for myself, I'm ready to step back out. But things are gonna come, right? She's gonna hit the challenges of all these new changes because she just wants to be playful, light, and come on, let's just go. But it's like, check in. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. But you can look at your chart and where Leo is and how your values, your relationships, and resources, right, are coming in. I can hear somebody right now talking to me, and she was talking about how the sun, and we're in that solar Lion's Gate energy. That is a little too far for me, but just know we're in this radiance of the sun. It is beaming to us. So can you receive? Can you receive your truth? Venus is all about receiving. Mars is all about giving. So energy coming inward, energy moving outward. The trick is when Venus moves into Leo, she wants to be outward. She wants to give all this nourishment she had back out in the world, but it gets interrupted. So just value your light. And then you can look at your own natal chart or schedule a session with me, and we can look at that theme of wild Venus. She flies through, by the way. She flies through Leo so quick, right? And she ends up, I don't even have when she's there. Oops, sorry, I jumped too far ahead. What comes after August? September, right? Sorry for the pause. She dives into Virgo on the 5th of September, right? So that's a 1 month in the month of Leo, Venus in Leo. So look at your chart. Look at where is this Leo energy for you, and what value system are you radiating out? How about that? Is that a good simplification? So that is our energy. This full moon, I'm going to come back to it because it's the main signature of this week, is going to ask that you do movement that grounds you and helps to illuminate your truth with understanding that you have to give structure. You need to be patient and include your whole being. The parts of you that you adore, the parts of you that you keep hidden, okay? And how in that adoration and what you're hiding from the world are working together in a way, but it's like, whether you want to or not, the stuff that you've kept hidden is going to come to the surface, right? So maybe you have a lot of Libra energy. Is that right? No. A lot of Sagittarian energy, right? And those, forget it. It would be Scorpio energy, right? If you have a lot of Scorpio energy, that all the partnerships in your life are kind of like showing up. If you're a Taurus, you have a lot of earth energy. I'll just put it that way. If you have a lot of earth energy, maybe you're seeing the people in your life revealing truths about themselves that you had no idea were there. Okay. So all of this makes more sense when you know your own chart, when you know your own energetic signature. And I will continue to offer the soul sessions for $88. We'll look at your chart. Some of you know this because you've taken advantage of it, and I appreciate your trust immensely. But it's wild when we just use the chart as a tool to bring forward the wisdom that can help guide you. So you know kind of more, it's not the intimate details of yourself that you should be scared of, But like, this is kind of what's being asked to release. Like, get over the fact of somebody looking at your astrological chart is going to reveal all your secrets. I don't show up that way. That's like the old way. No, what we do is we honor it, we respect it, we find the ways that you can be encouraged. And then what I'm moving into more and more of, which means that $88 won't last forever, is giving you this kind of theme, this energy of like, what do you need to connect with for the next month? What are some real patterns to show up with? Like, I had a session with somebody the other day. We didn't spend a lot of time with her chart, but it was like, hey, what I see is this, what I hear you're doing is this, and I want to honor you and encourage you because this is real. And then, like, for all of us, what was going on in March? What is happening now? And then that storyline is going to repeat. Well, these are the reality checks. March, now, and then end of October, right? And these are for everybody. So anyhow, these are what soul sessions do. So it's just a guiding tool. The wisdoms of the stars speak through me in a way that I can encourage you and support you. We can work with patterns, habits that need to change, but also feel encouragement, feeling a deeper sense of support, and knowing how to care for yourself. That soul care, so you can be real, be true, and be soulfully you. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're watching this on Facebook, comments, message me, share with me what stood out. If you're on YouTube, I thank you for the likes, the shares, the subscribes. All of it helps me to know my truth more and to be able to use this energetic signature for the highest good, harm to none. So until next week, be real, be true, and honor your soul. Honor the depths of your being. Take care of yourself. Be patient, and just know that kindness and compassion kindness and compassion tend to be really great virtues to help you navigate wild times.